allegiance to the flag of the United States of America and to the republic for which it stands, one nation, under God, indivisible, with liberty and justice for all. Thank you.
Okay. Do we have any changes or additions to the agenda?
I'd like to change, Emery, is Chief Daniels is down there for number or letter D on items for discussion. He's part of my administrative report.
Okay, so we'll move that up to the administrative report. And then I was wondering, I just realized like a half hour ago, I didn't know if anybody had invited John Broker Campbell. Is he there?
No, he's not here present.
Okay. So we might want to postpone that to next month's meeting, unless he happens to pop up online. If anybody can keep an eye out for if he pops on. Because yeah, I just remembered to send him an invitation like a half hour ago. So if there are no other changes or additions, I'll move. Excuse me? Okay. I will move on to the approval of the minutes. Has everyone had a chance to look them over? I just looked them over and they looked pretty good to me. Yeah. Okay. So I'll take a motion to approve the minutes from February 14th, 2023. Okay, Mark made a motion. All in favor, say aye. Aye.
Aye.
Okay, is that unanimous over there?
Sarah abstained.
Oh, okay. Yeah, she wasn't here. And I think that Jamie's not here yet, right? She was running late. So, but that's 3, so that passes. And then I'll take a motion to approve the minutes from March 14th, 2023.
So moved, Mark.
Okay, Mark has made the motion to approve the minutes. All in favor, say aye. Aye. Okay, and that passed. Up next, we have public participation. Is there anyone there that wants to say anything?
Nothing from the floor.
Okay, thank you. So we'll move on to our administrative report.
All right, welcome to our lead learner report for the April 18th board meeting. First off, we have a very special guest from our student council, our own student council president, Isabella Martis, and she is going to be sharing some information about some upcoming events that she would like the board to consider.
So hi, I'm Isabella Martis, and I am the student council
Could you move a little closer to the microphone? There you go.
So hi, I'm Isabella Martis, and I'm the student council president, and I'd like to present some of our ideas that were coming up this week and next month. So this week on Friday, we have our spring fling, which all 6th through 8 middle school students are allowed to come. For our decor costs, we've already spent $156.72 of our own budget, and our food cost is still pending. On May 26th, we have an event called Hats for Cats. So we are charging each student $1 to wear a hat to school for the whole day, and all of our donations are going to go to a local humane society to help with their cause. We still have not decided on a humane society yet, but we will be making that decision soon. And then we also will have a middle school dance for the whole YesU also on the 26th. We have a whole glow-in-the-dark theme. We are in the process of buying decor, and we have some supplies here at school already. And then I do have flyers for the spring fling and Hats for Cats if you would like to see them.
I'd love to see it.
So our Hats for Cats is not in color,
Uh-huh.
but all of the information for this week.
Nice. Oh. I think you're gonna sell a lot of hats.
Absolutely.
Well,
Wedding.
you're,
I'm
or
a-
it's traditionally, we don't wear hats in school.
Right. Well, there's-
It's an
not really
exemption.
hats indoors.
All right. Sounds like a good cause.
Those were the only upcoming events we have that we are in the process of receiving money from people.
Thank you.
That's a tough act to follow. The next one we want to do is, we have a family in need. We have a student, upcoming kindergartner that, you'll see the letter at your, spot there. Anne Marie, I did mail it to you just recently, and emailed the letter of the next fundraiser that the student council wants to do.
Yes, I saw it. Thank you.
It's for a family in need. Their daughter, has turned ill with a rare disease. I'm not sure how she got it. And we'd just like to do a coin collection. We're hoping to fill a 5-gallon pail full of coins to give the family. They have a GoFundMe page. They're doing meal train. It's just to help support the family in their time of need. So with your approval, we'd like to do a coin drive for this, all families in Weathersfield School to bring in bring in coins, spare change. We can fill that empty bucket.
Okay. Is
Thank
that
you.
something we should do at items for action? Approve that?
Yeah, just so we can approve all the student council upcoming activities.
Yes, all the student council activities, Anne Marie.
Okay.
Thank you. Appreciate you guys. All right, I love my administrative report. So next we have PTO. I'm just gonna sit back here today. So Carrie Jewell, who is our PTO treasurer, gonna talk to you a little bit about some PTO events that are coming up.
Just a little, and I don't have nearly the enthusiasm that Jamie Richardson does. So a couple of things we have going on this Thursday at 7 p.m. We have a comedy show that is happening at Windsor High School. So the doors will open at 6. There are still tickets available. We have headliner Kelly McFarland and a featuring guest with her. They will perform comedy. We have some games that we'll be playing in between. And this is for mature audiences, so it's over 18 and over. But if you're interested in tickets, anyone on the board or the public, we have some. Staff Appreciation Week is coming up. Typically, it's the first week of May, but I guess the PTO world says because the Monday, it's not a full week, we have to move it back. So we're doing it the week of May 8th through 12th. So we have something planned each day for our staff and a way to celebrate them. We also will be encouraging the students and families to appreciate the adults that are helping to educate them. We are currently working on filling up our testing supply kits for the students to have during their testing that is coming up. So it will include fidgets and some mints and gum. They're all popular things to have while they're doing testing. And then we're going to have little mini to-go kits. About it last year that there are a lot of students that test in alternate locations and they have small groups. And so just the kits in the classroom didn't necessarily help all the students. So we are looking to address that need as well. And we have begun our work on the pod drop, which, as you know, is scheduled for September 22nd. And we have begun meeting, so we're well underway for that. So we're sort of wrapping up this year's calendar of events, which is both sad and a little bit like of a relief. But no fear, there'll be plenty going forward. Any questions for PTO? Okay, thank you.
Thank you, Carrie.
Thank you, Carrie.
Next up for school safety, we have our very own Chief Daniels from the Weathersfield Police Department.
I don't have a slide presentation. So I was asked to come here just to talk about school safety and as I talked to Brian earlier, we do have a response plan when we come here, but I'm not going to share that just because I don't want it out in social media land. But I do want you to know that we have worked with the state police, with the fire department, with the ambulance services. We have a response plan on file with Hartford Police Department. That's the dispatch for fire and EMS. That plan dictates when we respond, where agencies set up, where we set up first aid, where we set up the helicopter that comes down, where, depending on the situation, where we're going to evacuate the children from and how to get them to where they are. The main thing, as I've said to Brian in the past, is the human element is going to be the toughest thing that we're going to have to deal with, because during a crisis, that's the one thing we have no control over. As far as the school safety goes, we've talked about it in the past. We have to make sure that they're very aware not to leave doors open, to let cross ventilation come through, that the windows are secured. When an incident happens, they have to make sure that they follow all the protocol, make sure everything's locked down. Even if it's something where they're not sure of whether the threat is there or not, is something that they still have to take a concern with. In the past, as you all know, what's been going on around, especially our side of the country, we've had these fake bomb threats called into schools. What we have done is I've met with Ryan and BJ in the past, and we've set up a protocol that was going to be in place. If a call came in, there were certain things that we were going to do that they would be able to tell us, yes, if it's an active threat, no, it's not an active threat. We still are going to come. We're still going to check it out. We just won't have the massive response we would, because unfortunately people think it's funny to be doing that right now, and it's not. Just to also let you know, the police departments are all doing interagency training right now. Our department took part in the Windsor training in December up at Windsor PD. What that was active shooting scenarios. It was throughout the day. It was various scenarios. You did them as they came in. They'd say, hey, you have a shooting, and this is what you have to react. So we do constantly train with other agencies in the event that it happens. Unfortunately, what we've learned too is that they are always changing and evolving, so the situation's always changing and evolve. What we ask, and I know it's going to be tough, is that the parents stay away from the area. No matter how much they want to get involved, that's going to hinder our response. So as much as you guys can put out there, make sure the parents know not to come to our area if something's going on. The other thing is, the one way to assist us as well is throughout the year when you do the training, just have the teachers sit down with the kids and let them know, this is the areas we're going to be sitting in, this is the area we're going to be sitting in, depending on the situation that has evolved. And just do it as part of your routine. Maybe once a week, have the kids go sit over in this area of the room and do a training or read a book or something, just so it becomes part of norm for them. So when something does happen, it's still going to be the way they react. We have been keeping up the lines of communications between us and the school. Brian's done a very good job this year of calling us and notifying us when there's an incident in the school. Our biggest thing is we need to treat everything the same, that there could be a potential threat coming down the line. It doesn't matter if you've known the kid for 15 years. You still, if there's something that's not right, it has to be addressed and looked at. And we've been fortunate over the past couple of years that we've opened up the line of communications between the school and the police department. So I'd like to continue to go down that avenue because it's only going to benefit us in the end. The other thing that I want to really stress is, especially when it comes to school incidences, we have to be on top of anything that appears to be a bullying incident. That seems to be an underlying issue. And a lot of these things is the kids feel they're being picked on. They don't feel like they have a good avenue to vent. And then this is how they react eventually. So that's something that we need to continue to keep in our thoughts and move forward. And if we have a kid who's being bullied or a teacher happens to notice the kid's drawings are starting to get a little obscured, that needs to be addressed. The sooner the better. We've had past instances where the school didn't know whether they should call us or not. By all means, call us and let us, figure it out with the school. We'll work in conjunction with them. And there was something else, but I don't have it written down. So that's pretty much what we wanted to talk about. over the last few years, the school's taken a lot of steps to secure the building by putting in the locking system, by putting tape on the windows to help out. What we would like to see continue happen is have meetings every so often with Brian and other agencies and see if there's anything else that we can do to secure the building. But as I said before, the main thing is just to make sure the human element is there and that the people don't leave doors open, because unfortunately, somebody wants to get in the building, that's the easiest way to access it. And right now, the school's doing a very good job of containing it. Okay? Anybody have any questions for me?
I just have one question. How often is it brought up, like with teachers or staff, to practice some of these things that you're talking about?
We did a training, I think it was a few years ago when COVID kind of slowed down what we were doing. And then I don't know what the training they do in-house here, how often they do it.
We're
But
set up to do it every couple months or so, and so we have it's a choice type of activity that teachers do, they talk about it. They send kids through a scenario, not a scary scenario, because we want to keep it low key for the
Right,
students,
okay.
because we don't want to do it, but they know where to go, how to do it. And then we do practice our fire drills, and we do fire drills, egress as well, make sure that the students need to know where to go out. And it was helpful last month when we had the snow, because kids are so used to going down a certain pathway, and when there's a big snowbank in the area, you have to obviously go around and do ramps. And those obstacles, those natural obstacles are nice to have at times too, because then it gives kids the opportunity to have to go a different route. So, and we'll practice them too, where, like when I was in California, you couldn't get up to a certain door because there was an earthquake, and you couldn't get out the door. Having people have to reroute. And we're always looking at better plans just to get the kids out as quickly as possible.
I had one question for Chief Daniels. I just was wondering, as far like you said that you practice with Vermont State Police and with neighboring police departments. As far as a response if something were to happen at Weathersfield School, do we know who would be in charge? Like, is that discussed? Like, as far as who's in charge, and then if somebody else comes in, are they in charge? Or I just want to make sure that it's clear who's in charge at the scene if anything ever happened.
the way it works now is the initial responding officer goes into the building, and then the next officer who shows up on scene starts setting up the command, and then eventually it'll be turned over to whoever's the highest ranking officer who's not inside the building.
So if Weathersfield responds and then the state police show up, do they take charge of the situation?
It evolves, and it depends on who's inside the building and who's not, what's going on at that point in time. Eventually what will happen is the command post will be set up when there's enough people on scene, and at the command post, that'll dictate who goes into the building, who comes out of the building, when the next response goes in, et cetera.
Are you aware if your equipment works inside the building, like our communications?
Are you asking about our radio system?
Yeah, like your radios, because I know that was a problem in Uvalde. They said that their radios weren't working, and I just was wondering if that is something that you've checked out and made sure that your radios work in our building.
Radios work in the building. The biggest problem we're going to have is what's called radio silence, and that'll have to be dictated by our dispatchers from the outside to make sure nobody gets on the airwaves.
It's tricky. We appreciate the coordination.
Thank you.
The principal. Thank you.
All right, thank you very much. Have a good night.
Yes.
So can I just piggyback off that? So obviously I brought this up a couple months ago, right? And so I know Chief Daniels is doing a ton of stuff outside to protect the school, but I am still concerned that inside the school, we are not doing enough to protect our kids and staff. I know there are staff members that don't know what to do, and they've been here for multiple years. So I know Sarah sort of just asked that question. I know it's laid out by the state of Vermont, but just putting it out there that I think it's very, very important for the school board to me, making sure that we are doing the required drills. I have an 8th grader who has not been talked to at all this year about what to do in an active shooter, lockdown, shelter in place. My 4th grader has been talked to once. That's concerning to me. I mean, we can sit here and say we're doing it, but if I have 2 kids that I can trust saying that they're not doing it, and yes, they've been here their whole lives, but there's kids that haven't been here their whole lives and may not know what to do in our school. So, just to sort of piggyback off of that, like, great that we're protected outside the school, but we also need to make sure we're protected inside the school and have our faculty and staff and kids know what to be doing.
We can address it again with the staff this week.
Perfect. Thank you.
Are you finished then, Brian? Or oh, okay.
Please, this is too short for me. All right, so now we get Carrie Newell again with athletics. She's our athletic director. So put on the different hat, Carrie.
Yep, still gonna put on the glasses though.
Okay, that's fine.
Okay, so just for numbers, because I've been trying to update you guys on where our numbers are for athletes. This spring season for baseball and softball, and I did combine it because that's all the data I had from last year was one combined lump number. So we have 104 athletes in baseball and softball this year as opposed to 96 last year. So just a slight increase, but also we don't have a third and fourth or fifth and sixth grade softball team. So we're down 2 teams, but up in numbers, which I still look at as a positive. And then track and field, last year we had 8 athletes, this year we have 23. So that was a dynamic jump there. So comparatively, we had 114 athletes last spring to 127 this spring, which is an increase of 11.4%. We just completed a complete overhaul of the main ball field. Tim Sargent with TSPM made the necessary modifications to the ball field to get us a regulation play baseball field for middle school particularly. Our fields had been close to adequate size for 5th and 6th grade and below. But Weathersfield has not had a middle school baseball team in at least 10 years. We're not exactly sure how long it's been. One of that reasons was our ball field was significantly too small. Numbers was also a thing, and we have a great team this year. There's 15 athletes on the middle school boys team, and a great feeder program. So it looked like it was worth investing the time and resources to develop that field. It also will be used for all of our softball and baseball games. There are still a conflict of 3 games. That preseason, before we knew what we were doing, I scheduled softball and baseball at the same time. And those are middle school teams that have to deal with transportation. So we may have to use the old softball field for a couple of games this year, but next year I will know not to do that. So you will see if you walk out there, we did lose a chunk of grass, but it's now a focal point. It's gorgeous. The infield material is really, really high end. It's nice. And our concession stands and the playground, everything is right here. So I no longer feel like softball is put in the corner. It's going to be out here on display where everyone can, we've moved bleachers. It's going to be fantastic. So I do think it's going to be a very exciting spring season here at Weathersfield. And we got a phone call, BJ took a phone call yesterday from one of our substitute teachers who's retired athletics guy, did a lot of work for us this basketball season, and he wants a copy of the schedule because he saw the field looked so great. So I think we're seeing that pay off, that we're going to have a lot of people coming out to support our athletes. We are going to be offering a spring soccer session, so not a season or a team, just Christian Craig is great at giving us time and wants to offer up, our numbers are lower in the spring, wants to offer up something that'll get kids out with physical activity. And he also is interested in introducing lacrosse, just as a fun thing that we could do, not necessarily another sport because we don't have a lot of numbers. But we do see a dip of a significant number of athletes for spring. Pivoting just a little, I did some looking into budget items because I did want to make sure that I'm staying in touch. You guys were generous in giving us an increase for next year, and I don't want to take that lightly. But we're still to do the things that we hope to do, hope that there's room in other ways for us to get creative to make some money. But for instance, coaches are it's about $7,200 this year we've spent on coaches. Officials is around $5,300. And then the after-school care that we are providing for athletes, which is about an hour. We are calling it the Open Gym Coordinator, who gets paid each day for about an hour, most days. So that is $1,100 that we'll have spent this year. And it's really going to only go up, I think, where it's going to get used more and more. And it's anticipated that it's going to be about $2,000 to offer that service to athletes next year. It is primarily just middle school for the most part because their practices and games are earlier. So we do just want to put that out there that it's not something that we've budgeted for. We found the money for sure. We think it's important. But it's different than the PAWS program. The kids get to hang out, they get to socialize, they have their snacks, they do homework. Yesterday we're playing indoor soccer because it was raining in the gym. So it's definitely geared more towards middle school. So with that said, of our current budget of $12,500, we'll have spent $13,600, which we're fortunate that we have a little pot of money that comes in from the registration fees that families pay to have their athletes play. It is $10 per sport per season, which is nominal. It's really not enough to cover even the basic cost of a t-shirt these days. As we know, costs have all gone up. But we appreciate all the support and the folks that drop off donations and all the things. We are making it work. But it's brought about for me wanting to kind of define a little bit of like who we are and how we market ourselves, in that we're not a rec. And it's the only school I know of. I'm sure there are others, but it's the only school I know of that does an athletic program K-8 that's funded, and we appreciate that. But we don't have the opportunities that other recs have. Like, our kids can go play for Claremont if we don't offer it here. But with us offering indoor soccer and cheerleading, we can't really accept kids, or I think that we can't accept kids that are not enrolled here. So I'm posing the question to you all about sort of taking a look at who we are and how we operate. We're technically governed by the VPA because our school is a member school, but they only monitor or regulate 5th through 8th grade. So where does it leave K through 4? So I'm genuinely curious if there could be some thought put into whether or not we are able to operate more like a rec, possibly increase our registration fee just a little. I did do some comparisons, and even the Heartland Rec, which is obviously in our SU, operates K-8 there, which is also a little unique because usually rec stops at 6th. To play T-ball there in kindergarten is a $50 residential fee and $60 for a non-resident. Our T-ball players are paying $10. So I don't know what that looks like. I just feel like we have an opportunity. We have a great indoor soccer program that started. Cheerleading has been very popular. If Windsor and Springfield, who don't have those programs, could come here, that would help us generate some more money as well. And potentially looking at, just like I said, increasing the registration fee a little bit. So I think that the average rec fees are $48. So that's typically the average when I did the research of our local recs for a sport each season. And I would like to consider, I don't know that it's an approval or an ask, or it's just something I want to put out there, that possibly we could go to 15 or 20. We still scholarship any kids that it's a financial hardship for, so we would continue to do that. But it would allow us to invest in necessary infrastructure, equipment, uniforms that there just isn't the money for consistently. And again, we get generous support from people and their time and resources, but everyone pinches. So just want to be mindful that we can't keep asking the same people to do all the heavy lifting. With that said, you guys did approve us to sell advertisement to cover the cost of the fence. That's still in the no man's land of getting RFPs or whatever is needed. And we would like to be able to, we just trialed a t-shirt for kindergarten and first and second grade. They don't have uniforms. We give them a t-shirt. But again, like I said, the t-shirts cost more than $10. So we had some sponsors that were willing to have their logo put on the t-shirt, and it covered the cost of the t-shirts and a little bit extra that was able to help redo the baseball field. So if that's something that you feel like we could continue to do, that would be a tremendous help as well. If we could just kind of get the cost of some uniforms or, I don't know. I'm just trying to think creatively how we can continue the momentum that we have. We have increased athletes, increased attendance, increased games, and that all comes with increased money. Our basketball refs' salary was double what last year was. So because we had that many more games, we put 2 refs on most games rather than just 1, especially at the middle school level. So those all add up. So happy times ending with the reality of just where we're at. So I just hope we'll continue to have your support.
Can I ask, what kind of call are you getting as far as outside students wanting to participate? I mean, what's the need? What kind of numbers are you seeing right now?
Zero right now.
Zero right now.
I did have Kate Ryan asked about her daughter doing cheerleading, and I was like, of course, that's probably fine, sort of thing. It didn't end up working out, but it's always been not an option, so therefore it's not a discussion, and I wouldn't want to, offer it up without knowing that insurance covers it, or what the logistics are.
Right.
Yeah.
No, I want to make sure it wasn't trying to figure out how immediate the need was.
It's not immediate.
Okay.
It's not. And most of what we offer is offered at their local recs, and the rules are you play there. If that's your hometown, you play for that rec.
Okay.
So it would be the things we offer that are not offered. For instance, we had to go through a little discussion at a rec meeting about baseball, because there's a 5th grader who's playing baseball in Claremont. And I said, well, we've got to have that 5th grader play here. But at the end of the day, it's a Cal Ripken League in Claremont, which means that it's basically a league you pay for, travel ball, you qualify to be able to play in the summer and go to All-Stars. So that's different than baseball. But Claremont doesn't have just rec baseball. You have to do Cal Ripken. So where we've let the one athlete is playing in Claremont, might there be a couple that would want to come here because they're not interested in all the travel. So I can just see that it might open up some more opportunities for us to build our athletics program and fill the teams that, we certainly need to fill.
I don't see how that'd be a bad thing.
Yeah, I think it's just logistics, and I just feel like I have felt like we're just kind of in a little bit of a hole with who we are and where we can go to ask for things, because we're so unique, and it'd just be great if we could maybe define that or know exactly what it means that we can and can't do.
Okay.
Any other questions?
Thank you.
Thank you.
Do you want me to look into the insurance question?
You could do that, that'd be great.
Sure.
Love that.
Just call. Before the insurance, and find out.
Because it seems like we've already gone over as a body who can sign up for what, and how we share talent and whatnot. But
Yeah.
as far as what the insurance, we don't know. So, great, thank you.
All right, so I want to give you guys a staffing update so far of what we have. So far, we've had 2 resignations. We had our music teacher resign, and then we also had our K-6 math interventionist. And so we've had a candidate pool of teachers, and so we were able to hire a wonderful music teacher, Rebecca Town. She came to us from Heartland. Heartland has 2 music teachers, and they have a huge program. And so this teacher was the secondary teacher there. And so she wants to have her own program here, so we're super excited to have her here. And then just today, we did hire a K-6 math interventionist. You guys might recognize the name of Christina Hughes. So she's going to move from the classroom to the K-6 math intervention spot. And so now we'll be posting her position for an elementary school teacher. So that should go out tomorrow in school spring. We also did have one retirement. Mr. Vila is retiring at the end of this year. So we are in search of a science teacher. We've had a few applicants for that. We're just trying to make sure we find the right fit for our Weathersfield community. So that's going to be a position that we're still looking for. And then we do have our Spanish teacher out there looking for Spanish teacher. That hasn't been as good so far. So we'll have a new ad for our math intervention and for our elementary school teacher. That will go up tomorrow in school spring. All right, Leader and Me. So if you guys get a chance after the meeting, just make sure you check out some of our WIGs, our wildly important goals. The students are working on it. I think kindergarten goal is 800 words. I think they're at 734, which is pretty good. So they're getting close to meeting their WIG, but they're making great progress on all of those. Total enrollment is 250 kids, up a little bit of our average daily attendance to 93.65%. So we're good, holding steady right at that 250 number. Building community, we did have a clothing swap back during our parent-teacher conferences, which was successful. Families had the opportunity to drop off clothes that their kids have outgrown, and then parents and families could come through and get other items and just swap them out. Chief Daniels met with us to discuss school safety. Our Little Mermaid Junior drama production was a huge community success. It was an excellent event. We had quite a bit of talent here at school. I was pleasantly surprised. I appreciate all the hard work from our drama department. And then we also have parent-teacher conferences. And I know Mark's going to talk a little bit more about Little Mermaid later on. Upcoming events. So right now, started on yesterday, we have our MRA, which is our measurable results assessment. I believe it is MRA. And that's part of our Leader in Me, so that gives our students an opportunity to show what they have been learning with Leader in Me and how they're using that in their daily life. Obviously, tonight is our school board meeting. We have Puppets in Education, which is happening on Thursday, and that was from a Hicks-Nichols grant, and so they're going to be focusing on grades K through 6 and talking about anxiety. We also have a PTO comedy show on Thursday night. 6th through 8th grade dance is on the 21st, is on Friday. Spring pictures are coming up next week. A week from tomorrow. It's optional for parents if they would like to purchase those. Our Pride Assembly is next Thursday instead of the usual last Friday of the month. We have kindergarten screening all day on Friday, and then we have our VT-CAP testing, which is taking place of our SBAC testing that starts on the 2nd, and that'll run for 3 weeks. They're going to do language arts, and then grades 3 through 8. Language arts is 3 through 8 on the first week, and then the next week will be science for grades 5 and 8, and then we'll finish up with math the following week with 3 through 8 as well. And then we'll turn it over to Christine.
Larry put in the third quarter financials in the portal, just for you to be updated on where we're at financially. And as of 17th of April, we are in very good shape. So we have a $355,000 roughly balance that's been unspent so far. So the year's not over, so I don't want anybody celebrating, but we're in pretty good shape. You're the planner. Okay. So my report is linked. I'm not going to go over it. It's there for you to peruse. The report I give at the supervisory union level, but I do pull out highlights. So if you put the next slide, I just wanted to update you where we're at with the educational equity work that we're involved in. The equity audit is pretty much done. I met with one of the consultants from Insight on Monday to go over the preliminary draft, and she will email that to me, the entire thing, and then myself and Angie Ledoux and her, and we will meet with our equity consultant, Mary Gannon, and we'll dig into that data and we'll figure out a plan how we're going to roll it out. We do all feel it's really important that the staff get a picture of it first before it goes to the community, staff and the boards. So we'll be preparing that information. Looking forward to looking into it. Preliminarily, meeting with Jacqueline Williams, there weren't any huge surprises. So, so I don't know if that's good or bad, but stuff we're working on, so I think it's good. And then we have the coordinator of diversity, equity, and inclusion interview committee completed interviews right before break. There was one candidate that rose to the top. I did reference checks, offered the candidate the position, and it's not final yet, so I'm not sharing the name, but I'll have it for the SU board meeting, but really pretty excited. So, and then that is the end of my report. I'm happy to take any questions or concerns, comments. And the end of Brian's report as well. Thank you, slide at the end.
Thank you.
Okay. Thank you. Does anyone have any questions for Brian or Christine?
Christine, that'll be at the next SU meeting?
Yeah, we probably won't have the equity audit to share yet, but we'll have the name of
The suggestion.
the coordinator, yeah.
Great, thank you.
Okay.
She signed the contract.
Okay. I guess up next we have items for discussion. And the first thing is a student school board member. I believe, Brian, you were working on that?
Yeah, so we talked about it at our last board meeting. I know we were a little bit in the dark last meeting, so we didn't have a great opportunity to talk about it, but what we would like to do is have a student be part of the school board. So they'd obviously be a non-voting member, but they would come to school board meetings, they would present at the meeting, they would listen. Looking at right now, talking to 6th and 7th grade students, and then we would have a little bit of, we would narrow down some candidates and have those students finally come to the school board meeting and approach you guys about why they would like to be a school board member and what they can do to help the school. So, and I can move forward and start gaining interest from kids, because we have a couple kids that have heard about it a little bit and have already asked me about it, so we started to generate some interest, which is nice.
Is the intent that this would actually be separate from the duties of student council?
Yes.
Good, thank you.
Yes.
And would it be someone joining the board in the fall or
Yes,
before the
they
end
would
of the year?
join in the fall, so we get them all ready to go, finish it up this fall, so that they can start in the fall after our July meeting, so we'll start in August.
And this is obviously to have like a student voice
Right.
type of stuff.
Yep.
We do have one student on the SU board, and it's been really, I think, pretty inspiring to hear him, watch him, hear what the students think, and have his voice. It's been great, so.
Great. Okay. And then the next thing we have is the select board relationship. Unfortunately, I dropped the ball and did not contact the select board to set up a meeting for us. I will work on that this month. Sorry. So then after that, we have the drama club report. Mark?
Okay, well, it was the Little Mermaid Junior, and if I can say, it was an incredible experience. We had over 30 students, that everybody was green, realistically. We had 3 years dark without a spring production, and incredible support. Meredith and Kelly, I cannot say enough. Sorry, Carrie as well. The number of hours that were put in was incredible. Let's remember when we started with the talent show, we were roughly at a 30% frozen in terror rate of the participants. And a good portion of the show was actually carried by 4th and 5th graders, which is pretty astounding when you consider the amount of bravery that it takes to come up and do that. And the community showed their support as well. Contributions at the door were probably 5.5 times what I've ever seen. What's that?
$2,663.
Yeah, so.
Wow.
What I've seen, and there there was a lot of unexpected expenses that various different people laid out for. So we're still going over the budget in terms of figuring out the budget and what we need to allocate for next time. So that's one part of the process that I really want to nail down before we engage in the next one, is really come down with a hard number. But the number of costumes that Meredith was able to come up with, and can you tell us how many bodies?
I can't tell you, well, there's 20, I think 23 I had to clothe, right?
23 costume characters.
Right,
No,
well, and then some played 4 roles, so one person wore 4 costumes. So
Yeah.
I'm having a little bit of a break from Little Mermaid.
okay,
But I
okay.
will count it up, so that it was amazing.
It was, yeah.
And the kids were just amazing. Like when I said you needed to change and you have 2 seconds to do that, they changed, right? I'm back on stage. It was great. It was
Yeah.
a great experience.
There's so many skills, and the students were really appreciative, and they, we had several students come out and do things that even a couple of months ago, you wouldn't have pegged as kids that were gonna come out and be a part of that. And some of it was through the tech, some of them stepped forward in the acting, performing. And I was blown away by how far they were able to come in such a short amount of time. So all in all, I think it was great. And we had some improvements as far as the staging. We invested in some lighting, a backdrop, the microphones. Community came forward, school board stepped up, individuals stepped up, and we were able to hear a lot more students than we've ever been able to hear before. So all in all, thank you, everybody. It's a good time.
It was an awesome performance. If you haven't seen it yet, take a chance to see it. It's
Oh, it is available on YouTube,
Yes,
right?
it is, yep.
Okay.
Pretty amazing though, and also, and then what's nice too is, Meredith, we got our calendar for May 5th, because we get to go to Windsor to see their performance.
Outside of Mermaid.
So so they did the same performance, and then they were able to use some of our
I'm
props and
stuck
stuff.
I'm stuck that day.
And we did also get to do
Southern
Act
Classic,
1.
so we'll make it work.
We did also get to do Act 1 for visiting school as well.
Yeah, so we tried to share our dramatic performances across the issue, which is nice. Thank you very much, Matt, for all your help. I hope that anyone in the hospital match. Thank you.
Okay, up next we have items for action, which I don't see that John has logged on. I know I do have like an official thing from him saying that he does indeed want to be the school moderator. I don't know that we've had any other applications. I haven't heard of any. No. So I don't know that we actually need him here at the meeting to nominate him and all that. So if I'll take a motion to nominate John Campbell as school moderator for next year.
So moved, Mark.
Okay, Mark has made the motion to nominate John Brooker Campbell for school moderator. I guess I'll take a roll call for this because it's kind of important, I guess. So I'll start with Vincent. Does he say anything?
Oh,
Okay. All right. Mark?
Aye.
Sarah? Jamie?
Aye.
And I'm also an aye, so that's unanimous. I got everybody right. Okay. So John Brooker Campbell will be our moderator at next town meeting.
Anne Marie, will you let him know?
Yeah, so, I'll email him and let him know that we did it. He did definitely volunteer, so it's not going to be a surprise for him. Okay, and then next I have on here, I guess we need to recognize the retirement for.
We'll have
Chloe and Dango at the town office.
Oh, okay. Can you take care of that, BJ? Is that a yes?
Yes.
Okay. All right. Yeah, so if you want to notify Chloe and BJ, and I will notify John. I think that should be good. Let's see. So we have the retirement of Mr. Vila. What do we do? We just need to accept his retirement letter? Yeah. Okay, so someone wants to make that motion?
I'll make the motion that we accept Mr. Vila's retirement.
Yep. And all in favor, say aye. Aye.
Aye.
Aye.
Is that unanimous there? Okay. And then we have two resignations. The music teacher, and then there was one other. Yeah. So if someone wants to make a motion to accept those two resignations.
Their names should be mentioned in that. Samuel Francis was the music teacher, and Linda Reese Potter is the K through 6 math interventionist.
Okay. I can't hear what's going on there. Is anybody making a motion? Vincent did? Okay. All in favor, say aye. Aye.
Aye.
Okay, that's unanimous. I have a couple other things here that got added to the list. Let me see. To approve the student council activities as requested. I didn't get the full list of them. But I know as they went over them, I was okay with all of them. Is everyone else okay with the full list of?
Spring clean.
So if someone wants to make a motion to approve the student council request for activities. Okay, Mark made the motion. All in favor, say aye. Aye.
Aye.
Okay, and that seems unanimous, I think. Okay. And also, so Christina is going to Christine is going to look into the insurance aspects of raising some more money for athletics. And I suppose we could add that to next month's agenda to talk about other ways that the athletics department can raise funds. I don't personally have a problem with them increasing their fee. I mean, I was shocked when I moved here and it was $10. We paid like, I don't know, 50, I think, where we came from per thing. So I think as long as they continue to have the ability to give scholarships, I would be in favor. So we can talk about that next month and maybe approve them to raise their fees. If that's okay with everybody. Was there anything else that we needed to take action on?
The two hires that we're going to do for the math interventionist and the music teacher. So Rebecca Town for music and Christina Hughes for K-6 math interventionist.
Okay, can I have a motion to approve those two new hires?
Make a motion to approve 2 new hires.
Okay, all in favor say aye. Aye. Okay, that's
Aye.
unanimous. Anything else?
BJ, you don't need approval on the family.
No, that was
That's
part of
part of
that,
the
okay.
student council.
And then Emery, do we need to approve moving forward with a student on the school board?
Yes. Okay, I'll take a motion to, I thought we already, didn't last month we approve that you could do that? Or, yeah, I think you already have that approval.
We'll move forward with it.
I can't hear.
Jamie, are you hearing us okay?
Oh, I can now. You guys go in and out. It kind of ebbs and flows.
Yeah, like I just heard Mark just now, but I didn't hear anything for like, I don't know, a couple minutes before that.
But yes, Anne Marie, it was approved on the items for action last month. It's item number
I know.
B, C maybe on the,
Yeah, so that's
Agenda.
already been approved, Brian. So go ahead. You're all set with that.
Thank you.
We should set the next agenda. So next month's meeting, where's my calendar? Next month's meeting would be May 9th at 6:30. Is that okay for everybody? Okay.
I may not be able to attend, but it's baseball season's a bit.
Okay. So we'll leave that for May 9th. And I guess I would like to, for items for discussion, have about discussion about athletics and the what Carrie brought up about perhaps having other kids from outside the area attend if possible, and raise fees if possible. And I guess if anybody has any other ideas they want to come with to the next meeting, as far as ways that athletics can raise money, we can talk about that next month. We should also, I guess, we should hopefully have a student school board member, or maybe a couple coming forward to, I don't know, are you guys going to narrow it down to just the one person, or were you planning to bring a couple of them to us?
Plan is to bring a couple, but let's see how, if one just rises above and has more enthusiasm.
Yeah.
We'll figure it out.
Okay. So we'll keep the student school board member on the items for discussion for next month. We'll have the select board relationship discussion. I will get on that, I promise. And I guess that's all I can think of. Can anyone else think of anything else that should be discussed? Yes, Christine?
We start talking about the board retreat date.
Yeah. Let's have a board retreat discussion.
Mark, do you want to draw on that?
Start thinking about your backyards.
Can we invite Jackie to the next meeting?
We all have a more consolidated financial.
Okay. So if no one else has anything else to add, do we have a need for executive session?
It's a kind of a standing.
Oh, okay.
I can't really hear what you're saying.
It was a side conversation.
Okay. I guess, if we can have just a couple minutes, I just wanted to ask a couple of questions, just with the board and I guess Brian and Christine. So if I can take a motion to enter executive session.
So moved, Mark?
Okay. All in favor, say aye.
Hi.
Okay. All right. And then I don't know what you guys have to do there, but anyone who is not a board member or